Hi, welcome. On this video, this is day 9, okay, for service dog training with Tiny. And on this video, you're going to see me doing a pacing exercise outside, okay? I'm going to be taking Tiny down the street here on the sidewalk in a more distracting type of setting. And the focus here is the default sit, getting Tiny to automatically go into a sit as I slow down. And so part of the focus here of this exercise is to communicate with Tiny as I'm doing this, giving her information through how I'm responding to the leash, okay, asserting influence to the leash ahead of time, ahead of the curve of her mind, to let her know I'm slowing down. So this is about being successful in the sense of making sure that you're being proactive, okay, which sets up or creates the level of focus that we want and need for service dog training. So as I do this, I'm going to give you a bird's eye view here. So I have the camera set up here on my vehicle. It's pointed down the area I'm going to be walking up and down on the sidewalk here. But the thing to look for again is just how I'm setting this up. Okay, so especially at first when you're doing this type of exercise, understand that you want to not get into this type of a pacing exercise or really increasing expectations at this level until you begin to kind of create a foundation first, okay, in terms of just the basic method. Once a dog has released a higher level of control, then you can kind of think about increasing expectations this way with getting into the default sit, okay. So but here the whole issue here, you notice I'm not using treats, I'm not using a motivator that way, because it's the issue of control and relationship, okay. It's really getting an understanding truly of dogs as social animals in terms of how the decision-making process is influenced that way, okay. So the issue about the agreeableness part of this in terms of these interactions, okay, that's the motivation, that's the motivator, and it's about packaging, okay. So even I get an issue about beginning to use commands. I showed that in my last video where you see Tiny begin to respond to commands the right way. And even here as I'm talking, you notice what I'm doing, right? I'm still assessing her level of investment. So even as I'm talking, I'm interrupting, okay, I'm asserting. So that's the other thing to understand, is being proactive. Some trainers, you'll see this when, especially trainers that use remote callers, it's like they're standing there with the dog and the dog is investing, okay, turning his head, investing, and in their mind, training doesn't begin until that collar is activated. That's the wrong way. This is about relationship, just like being a parent. Parenting begins the moment you wake up, okay, and your feet hit the floor, okay. You don't wait until you have a certain idea about parenting and just sit back. You have to invest, okay. You have to come online right away. So, but at a deeper level, okay. That's the whole point. So again, here you're going to see me doing the method. I'm just going to be, again, taking my time, work on default sit. But the idea about me beginning to move more steps, okay, I'll do that after I create a certain expectation, and then I'll start to walk a little bit more, and then, slow down. But at first, when you start to work on this, it's important to, especially when you first start to do your walk, even if you're not doing the pacing part of this, where you're at that high level of expectation, keep my encouragement to people is keep the integrity of the method very tight in the sense of don't focus on distance, okay. Focus on where the mind is traveling rather than how far you're going, because again, you could be going a mile on a walk and it not be helpful at all because the dog's already has gained a level of control in the relationship and they're beginning to invest certain ways in that, and it's about fulfillment but the wrong way, okay. So the dog will continue to hold control through your entire walk. You never get the relationship on track, so you need to kind of pull things back. It's always better for you to work on really keeping it short and sweet with good focus on the method the right way, and then for you, just go and do your walk on your own for a while, do your mile, because it'll join back up the right way, okay. So because you're gonna go a little bit further each time. So again, I'm gonna move here with Tiny. And again, as I'm talking, I provide a few extra little pointers and tips to people here during these videos, so you kind of have an idea what's going on, okay. Now I encourage people too. I know people look at my videos and they filter things through this whole idea about learning. I would really encourage people doing that is to think deeper, okay. Trust me, I've asked all the tough questions many years ago. If you look at the dog training world, things are happening for a reason. And so this system of training answers those questions, okay? It lines things up properly. Because influence is a necessary part of the ingredient, okay, but it's how it intersects these interactions, which makes all the difference in the world, okay? Tiny is motivated or agreeable to coming into agreement with these interactions based on what they represent. So again, I'm going to move forward here. Now here's the thing, I've already put my hand on the pavement. Okay, it's important, especially in some like Florida, okay? Is before you start walking on a surface, especially where the sun's out, it could be very hot, okay? Test the pavement. It's not hot. It's warm, but it's not going to hurt Tiny at all, okay? We're in the type of range of the day here where it hasn't got to that level yet. But always make sure, again, put your hand on the surface here. Make sure it's not hot to the touch, okay? If it is, wait till later on in the day, or do your training in a covered area where it's going to be cool. But here's the thing, I'm just going to go down short distance and coming back here again, and just focus on the method. So I'm going to move forward, right away, get into it.